It's a fun little song, isn't it? I really like that song.
It's a great opener.
It's a great opener. That's from, I'm going to butcher his name, but it's like Ephraim Timaru. He's a Ethiopian singer, songwriter, pop star, all around. He's a talented man.
Sounds like a guy I could be friends with.
Really, he is, though. He's a fantastic musician. Welcome to Dead Air Radio, episode 4, I believe, right? I think we're on
Congrats,
episode 4.
we made it, guys. We did it.
Oh, wow. 4 weeks strong. I think we got something going here. I think we got an official podcast radio show here. I think we're on a roll here. Getting started out, though, I just want to start off with a little disclaimer, just for the show in general. Folks out there in Radioland, Mom, Dad, wherever you are, I just like to say that Dead Air Radio is a show where we talk about all kinds of things. With that said, some of the things we talk about might be a little on the offensive side, might be a little taboo for some. So, listeners with sensitive, precious little ears, just please understand that this is a comedy show, and with that said, comedy tends to poke fun at sensitive things. So just enjoy, don't judge, and if you're one of our parents, just stop listening right now. Anyway, I'd like to introduce my co-hosts here. We have my precious, my heart and soul, Jesus' gay brother, my bread and butter, my stick and berries, Mr. Ben Bourgeois.
Thanks a lot for that intro, Andrew. Wow. That was special. Every time, it just seems so much more special.
I mean, you're living proof that our Lord and Savior is smiling down upon us all, so I'd just like to thank you for that.
Well, he is our God.
He is. He's our only God. And to my right here is the lovely Mr. Adam Barnes.
Hi, everyone.
He makes me wonder how the universe can create such a object of pure perfection.
I hear you.
He's also the man who does all the sound effects you are hearing. And we truly love him. He is an asset. He's a talented man. Thank you for being here.
You're too kind. Thanks for having me.
I want to start out by mentioning a few sponsors. First sponsor would be the Irish Knot, located on 2479 North Fratney Street, home to the world's loudest karaoke every Sunday night.
Why not?
I tell you, it gets louder and louder every week, and it also gets more fun every week. So, you guys out there listening, maybe stop by, have a drink one of these days. It's going to change your life. I mean, they've got some of the best drink specials in town. It's a diamond in the rough.
And we got Luke bartending tonight. Great guy.
Luke, whoever you are, I haven't met you yet, but I'm sure I'll get to know you real well.
He's wonderful, okay? He's wonderful.
That's the Irish Knot, ladies and gentlemen. Go drink there. We got a new sponsor this week. It's the Dringus and Dringus Consulting. Got a cunt? Need it salted? Look no further. You found the Dringus and Dringus Consulting. They've been salting cunts for over 15 years. They're your consulting specialists. You can find them on the web at www.dringusbrothersconsulters.great. What? It's a little throwback to Benny Bourgeois there.
Yeah, I don't think I was there that evening, though. I'm not sure.
Well, you were physically here.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
You were there in spirit.
Okay.
This is my first show that I think I'm completely sober for.
Oh, no.
I know. I was a little nervous going into it. But I think it's going to be okay. I think it's about time.
We'll find our stride.
Thank you. No, I think it's about time I attempt to do it in a civilized manner because, you can't do every show.
No, I don't know. What are you trying to say? I don't get it.
I guess I don't know. I guess you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's for sure.
Get a hold of yourself.
I could try.
Thank you, Bart. All right, just what I needed. So, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
How you boys doing? How was your weekend? Anything fun happen? Anything you can remember you want to tell the people out there listening? Because let me tell you, last week I issued a challenge to the viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I issued the 4-viewer challenge. And Mr. Barnes, can you give me a reading on the viewers right now?
3.
We're at
Oh,
3.
all right.
We're only at 3. So
Hey,
I
we're
guess,
gonna get there. Don't worry about it.
I guess my challenge failed because I issued a challenge.
It was at the start of the show.
Yeah.
Oh.
4 viewers by the next episode.
I think
and
if we
failed.
get 4 viewers at any one point, it'll be a victory.
Yeah. It was a challenge, really to myself, more so than the viewers, because I thought I had the influence and the incentive to get these people to watch,
Hey,
and
don't beat yourself up about it. It's, you know what? We're gonna do it.
it's okay. And
See, your problem was you issued the challenge for more viewers when no one was listening.
That might be true.
I think there was probably 3 people listening last week too. I think so.
Oh, there was.
Anyway.
Hi, the 3 of you.
Yeah, to those of you who are listening, thank you so much. I know you're a very loyal fan base. We think about you every day. You're in my thoughts and my prayers, and I think we
And
can all
his,
agree.
Spank bank material.
In my
as well.
thoughts and my prayers, and you're in my underwear because I
Okay.
touch myself to you, and then I just leave it. I just leave it in there. I don't even clean up.
Okay.
You guys ever do that? You guys ever go through your pants and just let it collect in there?
As a younger man, before you get down to brass tacks and you have a system in place, sure, I've been there.
Then why am I still doing it?
I'm not sure.
It's I think it's leading to some complications physically. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Some dick zits. You guys ever get those? Dick zits?
From time to time.
I had a scare a couple weeks back, or a couple months back. I thought I had something I thought I had some disease.
Oh boy.
Turned out it was just dick zits. Went to the doctor, told me it was dick zits. So
Really?
yeah,
That's the medical term, right?
it is.
He was
Believe
like,
it or
you got
not.
thick zits.
Believe it or not, that's actually the medical term.
Was it Mike Ditka? Was that his doctor?
No, it was Mike Dick Zits.
Dick Zitka.
That's actually why they call him Dick Zits, is because the guy who named him Dick Zits, that was his last name. I don't think it was Mike Dick Zits.
It was
but
Greg Dick Zits.
Yeah, I think it was Greg Dick Zits.
Is that Kevin Dixit's brother?
No, it's actually his cousin.
Dick Zits is a hard word to say, like a lot. Like
can't do
it's
it.
a kind of somewhat of a tongue twister.
I got the tiny slur going on right now, so it's gonna be tough.
So how was your visit at the Irish Knot? Was it?
It was pretty fun. We had a very romantic conversation with 2 other gentlemen.
Ooh, intimate.
No, romantic. What?
Bromantic?
You could say that.
Yeah, there's bromance in the air.
That's good. It's always good to bond with your fellow man. Speaking of your fellow man,
Okay.
He's my tiny little boy.
I was actually I just learned of it was an old French artist by the name, I'm gonna butcher this, by the name of, maybe you can help me out, Ben. His name was
Yeah, you're French.
Le Pétomane, maybe Le Pétomant. I don't know.
Le Pétomant.
Anyway, this guy was a freaking brilliant man. Basically, what it comes down to is he was a man who had like extreme control over his anus. He actually found this out in a very awkward way by going swimming once, and he felt like a cold shoot go up his butt, and then he learned that he could like suck in like air or like whatever water,
Yeah.
and just blast it out. Like he has been known to blast liquid out of his anus like from like
That's
meters.
how he found out he had this.
Yeah,
this ability.
swimming. He went swimming. He felt a cold rush.
I hope the force of it allowed him to levitate above the water.
Yeah.
momentarily,
like those
and he's
jetpacks. Have you seen those water jetpacks?
Exactly.
Oh, those are amazing. No, apparently that's not that difficult to do, because I've heard in the past, listening to the Adam Carolla podcast, not to plug a different podcast here.
What are you
but-
doing?
Yeah, we're in direct competition with the Adam Carolla
what are you
podcast.
doing?
I know. But his buddy, he said that he used to take a hose, stick it up his butt, and fill it up with water, and they would go to a drive-through, order food, and when they get to the drive-through window, he would stick his ass out the window and just
No way.
I'm telling you, that's what he said.
Like bombs away them only way.
Both of them told the exact same story on that.
Holy, that's so.
So apparently it's
that's,
possible, if nothing else.
That's a talent I wish I had, but also I'm glad I don't in a way. Like if I had it, I'd be super proud of it, but I'm very glad I don't have that ability.
Let's
I don't,
try it out.
Yeah. Maybe you can help me with that later. But anyway, this guy, he became like a famous performer. He made a record, which I think we have a sound bite of that, don't we? Here, this is
it's what? How do you say his name?
Ben.
A resident Frenchman.
Yeah.
Le Pentamon.
Le Pantalon.
Yeah, here he is. Bear with the quality.
L'expérience, c'est le phénomène le Pyrène. Nous laissons la parole sans odeur au maestro le Pyrène. Après vous avoir fait entendre un motif de la célèbre valse
He
La
talks for too
Poissonnaire.
long before he starts farting.
Here we go.
Me voilà. Nous allons commencer
The name of
par le
this
fait de la
track
femme
is
à son
The
retour
Fart
d'art.
Man. That's what it's saying. I think that's what he means.
Le fait de ma belle-mère. Le fait de Masson. Le même sec est en mortier. Le même sur une chaise percée après l'absorption d'une bouteille d'eau hongroise. Et sang lors de sa visite au roi des Belges. Dernière. Devant. Fait d'une personne constipée. Fait d'un cheval au tronc.
That one didn't sound real.
Fait
So
d'un
anyway,
cheval au canot.
An amazing man, really. I mean, he has just the most like extreme control of this this talent of his.
That was like something from South Park, man.
I know, right? Like that's the thing, though, man. That was some legit shit right there. From like he was most popular in like the late 1800s. So that's also
Really?
an amazing fact about him is that like it was
He
accepted.
What kind of popularity did he have?
Dude, he had his own like traveling show, man. He played the Moulin Rouge. He was like one of the main acts there. Actually, he's a hunk. He is a hunk. He's a hunk of. It's not like intestinal gas. He has the ability to like suck air and shoot air.
Oh, so that's his superpower.
yeah. It's not like he has this like crazy like
He has
intestinal problem.
He has a two-way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it. He can also like blow candles out from like 5 feet away. Another amazing talent.
Wow.
I'm looking at the article way down at the bottom. In 2006, he released "Blame It on the Dog," a children's book about his life called "The Fartiste." Oh no,
Wait.
Simon and Schuster released it.
Yeah, he
didn't
died in
he's
like
long dead.
1945 or something.
Yeah, he's long dead, but
At the age of 88. Isn't that amazing for that time? I think that's a pretty good age.
that's a
Wish I
old
mean,
age.
if only I'd be lucky enough to live that long. Don't think I'm gonna.
I'm not planning for it.
No. Well, anyway, so that was just a fun little tidbit of information I stumbled upon today. Gotta give a shout out to my homegirl Diane for she knows who she is. She showed me the way with Les Pétoments. Some good stuff right there.
Le Pétamon. Le Pétamon.
I think they've made some like movies about him and stuff. That would be hilarious to watch.
More
What
than
legacy
one.
on
They
that
made
Wikipedia
more than one
page?
movie about him.
I think so. Or I mean, there's been he's like loved. You know, he's
And
like
it was
a loved
just
man.
farting. That was it.
Well,
I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
I have
no,
no
there was a little
qualms
song
with
to it. Who knows how
No,
hilarious those
I-
lyrics were?
I'm just saying, like,
I heard that he could like control the pitch of his farts to like match like by ear.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, multiple movies about a guy that, farts. That's awesome to me.
He was way ahead of his time. Let's put it that way. Also, speaking of movies, watched a pretty good documentary the other day called "Shut Up, Little Man." I don't know if you guys have heard about this one or seen it.
God, I haven't seen the documentary yet, but I've heard the clips, and I got addicted.
Yeah.
After the you listen to one tiny clip, and you're like, well, okay, what else I got?
Yeah.
And you just keep listening. I listened to it for maybe an hour. I probably
Yeah.
listened to it for an hour.
This is the same documentary.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, is that-
these are the
Shut
clips
Up, Little
based
Man,
off
yeah.
that
Oh,
documentary.
Yeah.
there's little clips like YouTube clips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
tons of 'em.
just a little spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen it. It's really, the documentary is about these two guys who are actually from Madison, who moved to San Francisco in like the late 80s. And they just got this like shithole apartment that was like super cheap, like paper thin walls. Like hear like everything that was going on. Anyway, their neighbors were these like two older gentlemen, not gentlemen, anti-gentlemen, who
gentle about
just
that.
spent their nights just screaming at each other, like in the most like vulgar and like just nasty way. And it got to the point where like they got so loud that the dudes from Wisconsin, like their neighbors got so loud that they had to like go over there and be like, shut the hell up, you guys, this is ridiculous. Long story short, the guy threatened his life, and they just started recording these two guys screaming at each other. And we don't have any clips for you people listening out right here, but go check it out on YouTube. Just search "Shut Up, Little Man," or it's on Netflix.
It's amazing. Go look it up.
It's some of the funniest. It's like if you like Winnebago Man, it's along those lines with in hilarity. So go check that one out. Highly recommended. Let's see what else we have here. I think it's time for a little music, huh?
Yeah, we got a good playlist for you tonight. We got a little sampling of kind of all the previous music on the show. We got some some Blue Ribbon Band, little Icarus Down.
I have to mention, we were planning on playing Lucky Bone tonight. Unfortunately, something went wrong with the files. We couldn't get him to work on our soundboard equipment we have here. So sorry, Lucky Bone. Maybe next week we can figure out this problem. I just want to give a little mention here that he has some recordings coming out soon. We'll touch back on that after the music break. What are we listening to?
With No Soul.
Got no
right, that was Uh-Oh, a little rock and roll number. Just want to give a quick plug to Phone Nil Trio. Phone Nil Trio is Peter J. Woods, Neil Gravender, and Dan. I'm going to butcher this last name. Cheryl? I don't know. Anyway, they have a release show coming up. They're releasing a 7-inch CD and cassette box set coming out this Memorial Day, which is Monday, the 28th.
Ooh.
You can check that out at 820 East Clark Street at 7 p.m. It's going to be a house show, it looks like. So check that out. They're crazy. Unfortunately, we couldn't get their song to work on our soundboard, but we'll have a little snippet for next week for sure. Anyway, moving along, I think we were about to talk about some of the weirdest stuff on planet Earth, some of the weirdest places. I think Mr. Barnes had a little caveat here.
This is something that I've seen come up in articles a couple times in the last week or so. These things, they're called sailing stones.
Sailing stones.
Sailing stones. They're in like California, kind of like I think in the Death Valley
are they
area.
the stones that just like they have like paths?
Yeah, you can see like it's like nothing but desert sand, kind of like a
that's so
hexagonal
insane.
rock, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden there's this stone out in the middle of nowhere with a track going
Yeah.
behind it for like 30, 40 feet. But this stone is like one that you couldn't just pick up.
No, they're huge.
And somehow the wind is blowing it, and scientists
so
have
crazy.
no idea how this happens. And sometimes they change directions.
That's so insane. Yeah, we have a picture of one here. You guys listening, check out Sailing Stones. You can see the picture. It's wild, man. I mean, there's this just giant rock in the middle of like a barren.
There's no other rocks around. It's
Yeah.
like a desert.
And what
flat, like a salt flat.
What kind of like surface is it on? That's weird.
You see, I read when I was reading about it. It said there something about a thin layer of clay on the top of the surface, and specific wind conditions they think could cause this, but they've never like seen one moving.
It's so crazy. This frickin' planet just blows me away every single day.
It's insane.
Is there any chance it could be like a crop circle scam? I don't think it could be because it's in a really
know.
remote location.
I mean, it could be. I mean,
Yeah,
there's always the possibility.
Somebody just shows up and moves it like an inch every couple days.
and like they're like it's like their artwork or something. I could see that, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
until it gets debunked, I'm gonna call this one a miracle. I mean, you guys check this out. It's just, it may seem like boring to like someone who doesn't appreciate the
amazing
the
things?
beautiful things in this.
Who doesn't appreciate amazing things?
I'll tell you who. People.
They
who-
aren't our listeners.
No. Definitely not our listeners. All of our listeners are some of the most beautiful
You know
people
what?
I know.
Most people aren't our listeners, though. I realize
Most people. But we just got the best darn
that.
listeners.
Dude, we got 3, right? Do we still have
Take a
3?
look. We're down to 2.
Well, whoever that one was who left us,
We don't
need him. You know, dead weight is what I say.
Yeah.
Dead frickin' weight.
This is along the same lines of crazy Mother Nature shit. Have you guys ever seen pictures of that cave that I think's in Mexico with the
crystal cave?
The crystals that are like Jurassic Park, insane
It's
Avatar
insane.
crystals.
They're huge.
They're like 30 times the size of a person.
Don't they like glow? Are they like glowing crystals, or is that just
I don't know
like-
if they glow.
I think that's like
fantasy.
a product of the photography.
Okay.
They look real bright in the photos, but I think that has to do with like the flash.
But they're gigantic. Like these like octagonal crystal sculptures or whatever shape they are. They're just absolutely gigantic. Like I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, words
They're just huge.
words can't explain these marvels and mysteries of
They're
Mother
like
Nature.
the little like amethyst rocks you could get when you were a kid and you thought sweet, except
Right.
they're like the size of buildings.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd
exactly.
be sweet, man, if we could like build a civilization like and live in those gigantic crystal structures. I mean,
You can't. The scientists can't even go in there for more than like 10 minutes at a time because
Really?
there's like no air in there and it's like 200 degrees.
whoa. Oh, so it's like way deep down
It's like
in the
it's
earth.
a cave, man. You
Holy
can't just
shit.
go tourist and see it.
Yeah. Man, it's so insane. What other crazy places are there on Earth? We got a little list here. There's this one
I don't know much about this. This McCurdo Drive Alley is pretty nuts.
that geyser right above it. Yeah,
The
this
geyser?
thing, the fly geyser. It's like it's on private property. This guy like bought this like area of
Just
land.
sprout out of the ground.
Yeah, they're huge. They're these like gigantic, like crazy looking geysers that like only a few privileged people have the ability to see because the guy who bought the land wanted just like to preserve it, and like absolutely no one's allowed on there except for like scientists and photographers here and there. But like, I think what does the
What
article
a
say?
bastard, man! He lives this. This is the real point of this story. It's this insane structure that just sprouts out of the ground and blasts water in the air, and it looks insane. It looks
Yeah.
like something you'd see in a science fiction video
Yeah.
game. And he owns it on personal property, and he won't let anybody see it.
Yeah, except for like scientists and photographers occasionally. But I mean,
Fuck that.
Yeah, the guy sounds like a dick.
What an asshole.
I mean, I can understand it. I mean,
No, you don't just get to buy something like that.
Well, charge people.
exactly. That's
well,
what they
fine,
said he can make
charge
a
'em.
fortune off of it.
I think it's more noble though, just to be like, no one can see it, and it's just
That's
gonna
not
remain.
noble. That's
No,
stupid.
It's
No,
gonna
something
remain
that cool.
untouched.
the government should own.
Well, it can remain untouched. Just
Socialist.
put caution tape around it for Christ's sake.
It's
No,
pretty big,
not
man. It's like a mountain.
Yeah,
Buy
it's
2
large.
rolls. That's 200 feet.
Yeah,
It can't be
two
That'll stop
rolls. 2 rolls of caution tape equals mountain.
Well, whatever.
Well, they sell it by the half mountain, so
Yeah, at the discount outlets. Oh man, how about those trees in
yeah, she's.
Saktora? It's like a little island.
Oh, speaking of trees, you ever see that picture of the trees that were covered in spider webs?
Oh,
And,
that's weird. That's creepy.
There was a flood that drove all the spiders up into the trees.
Whoa.
And they were there for months because it was like a really bad wet season.
I didn't know that's how it happened.
And they
it's
cocooned
really creepy.
entire trees in cobwebs that were just spider
Yeah,
colonies.
it is.
and there was
It looks like cotton
hundreds
candy
of them.
almost. It's
Yeah,
insane.
cotton candy, exactly.
Death candy.
And there was like a little girl playing like in front of one. I was like,
Well,
I
she's
would
silly.
go anywhere
Yeah.
near those.
Oh, to
She
be
had, like, a
innocent
little,
again.
She had a little like pail and bucket like just next to the giant
Collecting
spider
spiders.
tree from hell.
See, you know what's funny is when I was a kid, I was afraid of like spiders and
Still am.
bees and stuff
Well,
like
not
that.
really, I guess.
I'm more afraid now than I was then because like that shit'll kill you, man.
Bees-
like,
bees for sure.
Aware
I have
of
a-
that now.
I have a little spider friend at work that's been cohabitating my office with me as long as I've been there.
Oh yeah, he's one of those jumping spiders, right?
He's an awesome spider. We have a caller coming in.
Caller.
Then we'll get
Bring
back
him
to the
on.
Spider.
Greetings, caller. You are on Dead Air Radio. Is this regarding spiders?
This is regarding spiders.
Who is this? State your name and your
Is this Peter Parker?
question.
My name is Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Big fan of the show.
Oh, thank
I'm currently closing up shop at my place of employment. We have you pumping through the back at Waukesha Papa Murphy's currently.
Hey man.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out
you
to
can
Papa Murphy's.
You can be pumping through my back any day, honey.
Ooh.
All right. But yes, I was actually calling because I am deathly afraid of spiders.
I heard you.
And as I would agree, I find that the older I get, when I was a kid, I would pick up and start playing with spiders. Not so much anymore.
Why do you think that is?
Awareness. It's all awareness.
They will fucking kill you.
Yeah. You ever seen those pictures of the guys that like they get bit or whatever? Yeah, bit by a spider.
Oh, yeah.
And then their thumb like splits
Yeah,
open.
like their flesh just,
it's
like, rots.
hideous. It is. I'm not going near spiders anymore.
It's disgusting and
Yeah, it's
horrifying.
horrible.
Mr. Lee, what is your relationship with centipedes and silverfish?
Oh, silverfish are weird, man.
I know.
They're pretty creepy. Not as creepy as
They're
spiders.
from another dimension. They don't move like something from
No,
this
man.
world.
I think that they came on like a meteor that crashed into Earth. And
They're
it was
weird,
just
man.
like a hive of these silverfish that just inhabited and terrified the rest of humankind. I mean, Lee,
See,
what are your thoughts
If
on
one of
that?
those crawled on me, I would just get real squirmy and kind of shake it off and get like all just creeped out. But if a spider was crawling on me, I would probably cry.
Wait, hang on.
Maybe shit my pants.
Lee, let me ask you a question. If a spider crawled on you, would you convulse in the same way that you did when your old roommate hovered over you in a drunken haze and you didn't know what he was capable of?
Yes.
How do you know this?
I know a guy
What's your
that knows a
relationship to the
guy
caller?
that knows a guy.
I thought I was gonna die for a few seconds.
So you had a roommate.
The look in this nameless ex-roommate. His name will go without mention, but it was quite a terrifying 5 seconds, knowing what he was gonna do. I actually thought I was gonna be pissed on, to be honest.
That's a
been
real
known to
threat
happen,
with this guy.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
So, I heard an interesting story last night, actually involving Mr. Lomenzo.
Me.
Yeah, that's you.
He's my tiny little boy.
Did you get flashed by somebody outside of a bar?
Slashed?
Flashed.
Like with a knife?
No, with like somebody showed you their penis.
Flashed.
Oh, flashed. Oh yeah, that is a funny
Yeah.
story. It wasn't last night. It was quite a few weeks ago.
Well, I heard about it last night for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, man, was that a weird one?
Oh man. Yeah. So we were at a local bar. I'll leave that name
we
anonymous.
already have a sponsor for it.
Yeah, we don't need to bring that into the picture. Anyway, random man walks past us.
He was
Starts.
picking a fight with
Yeah,
me.
he
He was
was-
calling me like a pussy, and he was saying all this stuff.
He was just some wasted asshole. Anyway, I forget how it all went down, but he whipped his dick out in front of all of us, and
And he started waving it around like he was so proud of it, and he should have been proud. It was pretty huge.
It was like a bottle of water. Like that's how long it was. So thick, and that's how thick it was. And funny enough, that's how tiny the head was too. Picture like a cap. It was the weirdest penis I've ever seen.
I heard.
and then he went along his merry way. It was very sweet.
Your response, from what I heard that you said, was absolutely hilarious.
How did that go?
Yeah, how did you refresh my memory?
I heard that you responded saying
All right,
something to
hang
the
up.
extent
Hang up. You see? Exactly. People just gotta ruin it for everyone. Sorry, Lee. Someone on your end was being an asshole. I'm gonna come out and say it. Being an ass.
Wonder who he was working with tonight.
Anyway, I think I recall
Satan?
what Lee maybe
Yeah,
probably
Satan.
or some little twerp. Anyway, I think I remember what Lee was talking or something I said where. I don't remember. It was regarding the penis. He whipped it out, and I was like,
I don't know. I don't remember the words you said, but it was homoerotic.
he's a hunk. It was Homer erotic. Homeward Bound.
Right. With those 3 dogs. They were so adorable, and then the one got hit with a porcupine. and I
Homeward
got so
Bound
sad.
wasn't 3 dogs.
Hell yeah, it was.
2 dogs and a cat.
Okay, there it is. There you have it. 2
How
dogs
dare
and
you?
a cat.
How dare you?
I don't remember. I just remember the one dog that I really liked named Spot or something, and he got whipped in the face with a porcupine. It was the saddest part
That
of the
was so
movie.
sad, and like, cause you watched that movie like hundreds of times, probably.
Twice.
Yeah, maybe twice.
Twice?
Bart's like, what?
I've seen Homeward Bound at least 1 million times.
Wow.
At least.
See, I've only seen
Twice.
Boner Bound 100 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I watched boy movies, so
Hey man,
so maybe you can just take that to the bank and cash it, my friend.
All right, what movie do you think you've seen more than any other?
Oh man, that's a good one.
either Half Baked or A New Hope.
How many times?
Probably, yeah. Star Wars is up there.
No
Star Wars is
idea.
up there.
You know
so
what?
many times.
I haven't watched Star Wars in so long. You know, I wonder if it's one of those movies that like doesn't translate.
Absolutely not. It's just as cool as ever, man.
There's
Really?
no way. There's
Really?
just no
Fuck
way.
yeah, man.
It has to be so slow moving at points.
Dude, there's such a deep feeling of nostalgia when
have
you
to
watch Star
understand-
Wars.
Of
Yeah.
course,
It's amazing.
I
Yeah.
love those movies forever. I always will.
you
but
hate Star Wars.
You're
I don't-
talking to a man that has the most extensive Star Wars collection in the Waukesha
I will
area.
match
I will.
that.
I will. put-
match it. We're having a Star
I don't
Wars
know.
Horseshit.
on the show.
Are we talking action
next
figures?
week.
Yeah,
We're
action
talking
figures. Of
We're gonna
course.
take an inventory, both of you.
Please, I will crush you.
And it has to be audited by a nonpartisan party.
That's
so.
fine. Leas Diaz could
Star
call
Wars
back
off.
in. He'll tell you. He saw my
He
collection.
hasn't seen my
I mean-
collection.
Your collection is pathetic.
My collection is expansive and
Lomenzo,
valuable.
Lomenzo, give me shed some light on this.
I remember you having a lot of figures. My brother, I think my brother has a larger collection than both of you.
Do
I
either
don't
of you
know.
have Luke and Vader Longsabers OO cards in the box?
Let me go ahead and yawn, but no.
No, you don't.
You don't?
I don't have them in package. I have them.
I
They
think-
aren't in package
oh.
anymore, though.
Yeah, I always opened up my shit. I
You're
was
talking
like,
orange card?
Orange card.
Yeah.
I think green card didn't come
How do you
till-
have them?
I have them
Did you buy-
because
did you buy
my neighbor, my old neighbor, actually does have the most expansive Star Wars collection in Waukesha. It was amazing.
Was it Jay from Universal Comics?
he was.
It
He was,
had to be,
he was
right?
actually good friends with Jay from Universal Comics. It was one of
shocker.
That guy.
Oh,
It
my
was one of
God.
Jay's buddies.
That guy.
He lived right next door, and in his basement, there were shelves, and it was basically a Star Wars museum. His entire basement,
Yeah.
just lined with action figures and action figures. And I remember, I was there. I was a child, Star Wars age. Very,
Lured into the basement of a stranger.
he wasn't a stranger. He was our neighbor.
Oh. Neighbor stranger.
Anyways, no, we were friends with them, but I noticed and admired the Luke and Vader Longsabers, and then they had a rummage sale one time, and he put them out for sale,
What
knowing
a dummy.
knowing I would buy them, and I purchased them.
Oh, what a
so he
sweetheart.
basically gave them to me, and it was awesome. And I
You
still
know,
have them.
if they were long saber, short saber, long tray, they're worth like insanely more.
yeah, that's got to
Yeah.
be so rare.
Oh, they're worth so much more.
It's so amazing how
A short saber long tray has to be like in the thousands for
Yeah,
price.
it is. It's in the thousands.
Yeah, that's insane.
All right, Barn, riddle me this. Do you have the clear variant of Obi-Wan Kenobi that you can only get through the fan club? Remember that
I,
figure,
have,
right?
don't
I
have
have
that.
that. I have
I don't have that
I have
one.
all
That's a
the
pretty good
fan
one.
club stuff. Do you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Star Wars Insider, represent.
Let's just take this call real quick. Hello, caller. You're on the air, Dead Air Radio. What is your name? What is your question?
I'm going to make this real brief. This is Lee again. I've seen both Adam's and Ben's Star Wars collection. I think Ben has got Adam beat significantly.
Now-
Significantly, he says.
Now you've never seen the entire collection. You've seen fragments of it. It's all in boxes.
This man.
I
this caller-
helped price.
Yeah,
I
thank
helped
you.
price Ben's. We priced him on the low end, and he had a couple grand worth of figures.
Holy shit.
All mint in package.
He just said he doesn't have him in the package.
Yes, I do. I just don't have the original Orange Card 00 long sabers in package. I started with Shadows of the Empire. Everything Shadows of the Empire and on all in package. I'm talking vehicles,
With the
play
Outrider?
sets, all of it. And on top of that, Mr. Lee can attest. I have crazy other stuff in there that I didn't even know
All right,
about.
you
like
probably have
the
because-
whole line of Star Wars Beanie Babies. I have all of them. I also
It was
have.
an
Beanie Babies.
expansive collection.
It's crazy.
I
I
was
also
thoroughly
have-
impressed, and it took us about a good 4 to 5 hours of
4 to 5
pricing.
hours.
It took forever.
Well,
Pricing
I have been
and documented.
defeated.
Referenced from 3 different locations.
Wow. You guys really went all out with that project.
It was
And
pretty fun.
if Kay Bourgeois is listening, I would like to give a shout out. That lunch that she made us that day was fantastic, as always.
What did she make us?
God
I
bless
don't
her
remember.
soul.
What was it, like chips and sandwiches?
It was
sodas?
a delicious turkey
Some
sandwich
mac and
wrap.
cheese, a little Jello.
Oh, man.
It was quite good.
Well, thank you for corroborating my story.
Thank
Lee.
you for just ruining my night now.
Lee, you are the voice of reason always, and we love it when you call. You are our #1 fan, and we know it. You know it. Have a great night.
Tiny little boy.
You're my tiny little boy. And I think
Thank you, Lee.
I'm growing to love you. He's a hunk.
No, but okay. Let me just get back to my collection. Also in that collection was Todd Vesley. I can say his name.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
He's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is.
he's gone.
Actually, me and Lee were trying to find him the other day, and we came so close. We got a name, an address, and a phone number.
See, the only thing last I heard, he was writing a book on acid.
None
was all
of that
hearsay.
matters. The name, address, and phone number. I need like digital proof.
No, you're right, because we called the number and it was for like some like health clinic or something. Well, which
Anyways,
could be real. I mean, it
okay.
could be-
Yeah, it could be there.
When I was like 10 or 12 years old, he showed up to my house for the sole reason, not to hang out, not to do anything. He showed up to my house to give me the Gene Simmons action figure that they had all four. At that time, they had 4 Kiss action figures. I think it was
Yeah.
made by like Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those
You
are
made the Spawn figures.
And they all built like a stage if you got them all. But the Gene Simmons one was super hard to find.
Yeah.
And I had told him that it was super hard. So he made his mom take him to Toys R Us for sure. Yeah. He saw this action figure and he made his mom buy it for me, drive out to my house, and give it to me. He just came over and he was like, "Hey Ben, here," and he just gave it to me. I will always be a friend to him because
what a
nobody
wonderful
else-
story.
Who else would ever just show up to
Yeah.
your house and give you an action figure?
None of my
rare,
friends.
A rare action figure.
Those were not cheap either. Those were like $5 action figures.
No,
Yeah.
they were.
Well, those were
12
more,
bucks at
yeah.
I
least.
think they were. I thought they were more.
McFarlane. They
Yeah.
were McFarlane.
Yeah, he made all like the
least
Spawn
$10.
figures and shit.
No, I'm thinking more like $25.
Probably 12 to 15.
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
It was always the ones where you'd like run up to your mom and be like, "Can I get this?" And they'd be like,
I'm thinking of the McFarlane figures they would always have at like Spencer's Gifts.
No,
the
these were
bigger
these
ones.
were. Well, what do you mean by?
I think I know what you're talking about. The Kiss stage. Those were
Yeah,
like 12.
right.
Like they were like probably like 6-inch action figures.
They were 8-inch. I think.
8-inch. No, I'm thinking of like the 12-inch. Like they had like Slash and like some Spawn ones. They were more like.
"He made
I think I know what you're
There was
talking
a
about.
lot
They were
of
pretty
this-
big.
a
The
lot
ones
of
that I'm
different
talking
lines.
about were $12 to $15 range. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But you know, my
For like
brother has the.
1995 too. That's kind of a.
Did you ever see
steep price.
the Todd McFarlane? It was at like Spencer's for a little while. It was the Jaws like play set or something. It wasn't a play set. It was like a Jaws scene.
like a Buster or
he
whatever?
still has it in package, and apparently that's like wildly rare now.
Really?
Yeah, he's got it totally in package. It's worth like a couple $100 right now. and
Yeah,
it's
man,
only-
I mean-
it's only gonna climb.
Those collectibles they're so weird because it's like, how can just like a little piece of plastic
you
like
wanna know how?
mass-produced thing?
I'll tell you exactly how like they can rise in price the way they do. I went and looked at my collection, and if you would have offered me at that point in time like a figure that I didn't have from that collection for an insane amount of money, I would at least ponder it because you get so nostalgic. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I remember that.
Right.
That's insane. I have to have that.
Yeah, it was always such a hunt, like going to find the, like waiting for
Wasn't
when
it
the next
so
shipment
fun?
came and
you would
shit.
go through, you would file through all of them. If you got squirrely enough, you would ask the guy to bring out the boxes from the
Yeah,
back. I definitely.
Or you would call
did that.
ahead of time and like call every week.
Here's
Yeah,
another.
we did that.
I'm sure you guys pulled this move. You would go and you'd be looking, but you didn't have the money to buy it yet, and you would take it and you would hide it. Like in
Oh,
the-
yeah.
You would hide it somewhere like behind like the old like the Transformers micro, which like something
Actually,
nobody
No, we had
bought.
a
I did that.
we had a more brilliant
Yeah,
scheme.
Andrew's brother actually taught me how to do it right.
Yeah.
And well, tell how he did it, and then I'll tell you my story about
Yeah,
it.
so it was at like Toys R Us or whatever store it was. They had these end caps that you could just lift up. They were like these little like how do you say it? Like these little metal shelving things that you could just throw the figures in, and no one would know. No one would know. You just throw them right in the shelves underneath, and they would be hidden for weeks. You could go back when you had the money, and there they were. You guys didn't hear a word of that.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So why don't you back me up here, Ben?
Okay,
a little
what
shelf
I
like
did-
behind the.
It was like,
No,
like,
you
on, like the
pop-
end
you
cap.
pop up the like,
Popping up end caps at Target.
Yeah, it's
hiding
like-
action
I
figures.
did it at Target. I also did it at Toys R Us, and both of which I came back months later because most of the time they aren't going to move their aisles.
Yeah.
It takes
No.
like years.
Yeah, that's like a whole store rearranging.
At Toys R Us, as a joke, I came back like 2 years after I put toys. It was the Star Wars figures with the medallions. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
remember
Oh,
those?
yeah.
Yeah, when those came out, I wasn't sure if they were going to be rare or not, and obviously I didn't have any money. So I put them in, I popped up the end aisle thing, I put them in there. 2 years later, it turns out I don't think they were worth anything because they were like totally mass produced.
Yeah, I don't think those were.
But I came back completely dust covered, insanely
I think I
dust
remember
covered.
that.
Yeah, you might have been there.
I think
don't
I was
know.
there.
But there was that one, and then also at Target, I had what was it? What's the guy from X-Men that he would regenerate his body? Mr. Sinister.
Oh.
They made like 10-inch figures of those guys. Do you remember that?
I don't know.
It was like a really short run, but they made like 10 to 12-inch figures with like the open flap in the front. And I didn't. That was at That's the way that you had to do it then, was you didn't have any money, so
Yeah.
you didn't know if something was going to be rare or not. So
Just
you
hide
would
it.
Yeah, you would hide it and then wait and
Save
see.
it like a squirrel with his nuts. You just gotta stash them where no one's gonna find them.
I heard you.
Listen, I think it's time we take a short little musical interlude. Mr. Barn, who do we have lined up?
Well, here we have Icarus Down with Keep.
Icarus Down with Keep. Very beautiful song.
Cool.
Talented musicians, those guys.
It was wonderful.
So I was surfing the web the other day, and I came across this article that really, really blew my mind. Apparently, they're developing LED contact lenses, whereby you can it can display information like straight to your eye, like undistorted, like email or whatever the hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally insane.
And I'm kind of freaking out over this because that's like. You talk about like the technological singularity. That's like one of the a huge step towards that. You know.
Imagine that. I was looking at a couple articles today about the first. Did you see the first video taken on the Google Glasses?
No,
I didn't
The guy
watch
on
the video
trampoline.
yet.
Yeah, he's just like on a trampoline, but it's pretty beautiful video, and it's
Yeah.
just,
What's it like?
dude. Well,
Hey,
he's
so
just bouncing on trampolines.
Is
no
it
big deal.
through his point
through
of view?
Right.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Oh,
But it's really good quality. It kind of like messes up a couple times just because of his bouncing, which is totally understandable.
So it's just recording like straight video, and like because it was my understanding that the Google Glasses would like display things like in your vision.
Yeah, they do lots of things. They do
I don't
that,
know.
but then
they also record. I
Yeah.
don't think the
Yeah.
recording would display the stuff on it. I think it's just
Well, that wouldn't make sense.
No, it's just a recording device.
Yeah, they record. That has a camera and record also a projector on it.
Dude, it's so insane.
But do you
I
know
can bring
what
it up.
tying in with the LEDs and the what is it in contacts?
Yeah, it's a contact lens with like LEDs. It's red and blue LEDs. Apparently, they don't have a green LED yet. And I don't
I wish I
understand
could
that.
remember about that because I've heard that before, but I have no idea why that is.
Yeah, it says on this article, it says once miniature green LEDs, or maybe it's just miniature LEDs, are developed. They're in the works as of now. Full color displays will be possible. Once that happens, the possibilities are endless. And that's true, man. Picture just like a computer screen attached to your eyeball.
You know, could we get one of our really techie listeners to call in and explain to us the green LED situation?
I think we're probably down to one viewer at this point.
Yeah, well,
holding steady.
I'm sure.
Holding
I'm
steady at
sure.
two.
I'm
All
sure
right.
he's a real tech guy. So
Someone's maybe Lee knows a little bit.
how dare you? How do you know that's Lee? No, but going along with that story, I read an article today also about they've now successfully stored data into living cells.
Holy shit.
It's really crazy. What
That's
they do
the
is,
singularity, man. That's
I know
what's
we're getting there. They say that the technology is 10 years away, but in that time they're going to be able to turn off the growth of cancer in your body and totally reverse I'm completely re-engineer your body
Yeah.
through just I don't know how they insert these cells, but apparently the way that it works is it's like a yes or a no.
Yeah.
If the cell whatever is pointing this way, it's like an on and off switch, like a 0-1 whatever, like binary code kind of thing. Right now it's totally basic.
So what you're saying is they can basically program your cells to.
Well, they've gotten to the point where they successfully were able to load data onto a cell, change the data, and remove it.
Holy cow.
It's totally insane.
Yeah,
It's
I have a hard
amazing,
time understanding what you're saying, but I get it.
It's totally
It just
the
blows
most
my mind.
basic framework.
Yeah.
Essentially, right now, like I said, it's at a binary level, but whatever. I mean,
10 years.
in 10 years, they say that they might be able to send information into your body like a piece of code to turn off the production or reverse cancer growth and whatever health problems you have.
Yeah. It's like
Imagine that. It's
picture that
insane.
combined with stem cell research where we could just make fresh new cells to to take over the old ones. I mean, that's the kind of
You
technology.
gotta wonder about the singularity. I mean, I was a skeptic after I watched The Transcendent Man. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing. Go see it. Well, go see it in the movie
Roy
theater. No,
Kurzweil.
it's on Netflix. You can go see it.
Yeah.
Ray Kurzweil.
Right. I always call him Roy Kurzweil. No, think of if we spent a fraction of the budget with our tax money that goes towards like defense and war, if we put that, like, just a fraction of that money into like biomedicine and all that, like biotechnology.
Yeah, who is funding that stuff? I mean, I guess it's got to be privately funded at this point.
I would imagine it's a little like everything. I'm sure there's some government money going towards it.
Really, they should drop so many like governmental departments and create like a futurist department.
Yeah.
Because look at how important that is. Look at what Kurzweil's done. Like,
Yeah.
he predicts. He says, okay, in 10 years, we're going to be able to do X, Y, Z. So because he establishes that in 10 years, based upon his data that he's tracked, because he says that in 10 years we can do this, people start developing it now without having the capabilities to finish it.
Inventing tomorrow's technology.
Today.
It's so insane.
It's really amazing. It almost gives me goosebumps. It's like that is a step in the right direction for humanity. It's just amazing to me.
The only thing that bums me out is I feel like once all that technology is developed, only like the richest people in the world are going to be able to have access to it.
At first, of course. Same
but,
reason a TV used to cost $5,000 now costs like $100, whatever.
But just picture certain there's always going to be like a class struggle. You know what I mean? At least. Hopefully not, but I feel like there's going to be like a high class that can have that. And then there's going to be
always.
I don't know that there always will be, because I think with the internet, it's kind of like washing out all the bullshit. Like I feel like the internet does a pretty good job of that.
But the gap between the rich and the poor is wider than it's been like.
Yeah.
Right, but that's being
very recent history.
That's under a microscope right now. Like, it's being blown wide open. I think it's at a point where it's just gotten too big for itself, and it's at the point where that bubble's going to burst, and there's going to be some sort of distribution of wealth.
You talking about revolution?
Yeah, a nonviolent revolution via the internet. That's totally what I'm talking about.
That's the most optimistic way to see it. However, in my vision of the future is that there's going to be there's going to be a society where everyone's like super like technological singularity. Everyone's like melded with machines or what have you, technology. And then there's going to be like an outsider race that's like more like what humans
they're gonna
are
stick
like now.
to it. They're not gonna want. So I stepped away for a second, but how did you guys get to when it comes out? Are you gonna download to the robot body? Like, how quick are you jumping on board with the robot body?
Not right away.
I don't. It's weird. It's a weird premise because I feel like the robot body won't be made readily available for someone like of my socioeconomical status.
Right, but picture like now. Picture 30 years ago what a computer would have cost. And it would be unattainable for somebody of our social standing. But 30 years from now.
Yeah,
I mean, you're talking maybe you got two, and we're gonna be 30 years from now? We'll be like 55. We're not gonna be old by any means.
30 years from now, the best supercomputer that we have in the world right now will fit in the tiniest thumb drive for $5.
Yeah, it'll be you'll put it on your eyeball like a LED contact.
It'll be standard equipped into your your contacts if you even need contacts, because you might get like LASIK when you're
not
born,
going to need.
so
they're just going to be able to inject you with nanobots, and
vision.
it'll fix your eyes.
Well, actually, like we were talking about, the cells with the data storage. I mean, that's a way that you could just correct problems in the body.
Yeah, I mean, we've already mapped out.
That's
the
only
human
10 years
genome.
away.
Well, here's on the 10 years away. The whole thing. They say that Moore's law, the law that states the amount of something or other a computer chip can hold doubles the amount of transistors. Are they transistors? I don't remember the word for it, but it doubles every 2 years, and they're saying that's at its end. Within 10 years, they're gonna need to adopt a new method of
whatever it may. That technology may be at its end, but then they're gonna come out with a completely different thing that works at like 100 times more efficiency, and then build off of that.
You can be rest assured that there's
it's silly to say that anything is plateauing right now. It's totally silly, because why would it plateau?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you can be rest assured that there's hundreds of people already on work to make the next computer chip, the next standard.
The issue though was that they don't know what it's going to be yet. They talk about DNA storage,
Right,
and they
that's
talk about
crazy.
quantum storage are the two main ones, and they haven't got it yet. Like quantum computing is just in its absolute infancy, and I assume DNA storage is too. I don't know what kind of applications they can achieve with that at this point, but
Well, I am excited to find out. Stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. No, we were talking about the human genome.
tell them we were going light.
What's that?
Never mind.
Well, we're talking about the human genome being mapped out, and I was actually listening to a very interesting Neil deGrasse Tyson speech about how our closest genetic relative is the chimpanzee.
Yeah.
And the genetic differences between us and a chimpanzee is only like 1%. So think about that for a second. Think of everything humanity is capable of. We're capable of making this internet broadcast. We're capable of building buildings.
Look at the difference. I mean, when you go from chimps to us, I mean, I guess not necessarily chimps, but the most refined monkeys or whatever apes in the world.
the most refined.
like the idea of like a refined monkey smoking a cigar. And
Okay, that was a silly thing
There's
to
like
say.
a
No, but
monkey
what I'm saying
waiter
is
with
like
like a cloth over his wrist, like our finest bananas.
the smartest
Real
ape
refined.
in the world can do sign language.
Right.
Like that's the smartest ape, right?
Yeah. Well, right. That we've ever come across.
So the smartest one of us being like what Stephen Hawking,
Stephen
like
Hawking.
Who knows? I don't know.
Ray Kurzweil.
So to the potential like next 1% beyond that,
Right.
he will barely be able to communicate with them.
He or she.
No, it's a he.
Who's a he?
The smartest
The
human.
next one. Oh, the next.
Well, I think it wouldn't be a human anymore if it was 1% genetically
No,
different.
no, I'm
from
talking
humans.
about the smartest human being now. It has to be a he.
Okay, I can agree with that.
But he's got a nice queen in his corner.
What if it's
I don't know what
Stephen
that
Hawking?
means.
Does Stephen
Yeah.
Hawking have a queen in his corner? Is there a Mrs. Hawkins?
No, he's just got a. No, I don't know.
He's like,
I think his chair is his wife.
I was gonna say he's got a fleshlight, but that doesn't make any sense.
he's probably, well, obviously he has to be
He's-
beyond that kind of thinking.
Yeah, he's transcended like any sexual need, and I bet that's where the next 1% smarter or difference
They
in
reproduce
genetics.
with spores.
You know, you have to
This-
wonder: does it
this is
work
too much
like?
work.
Does it work like it did in Seinfeld, where the more like you need sexual interaction, the dumber you get? Like if you
It seems
if you
like a side
don't
effect.
if you don't need it at all, well, the way that it worked in the episode was the more the more sex that females got, the smarter they were, but the less sex that men had, the smarter they were.
Because George was constantly
Because
distracted by
Elaine
it,
was
so
getting
he couldn't
stupid because she wasn't having any sex, and George was becoming profoundly brilliant because he wasn't having any sex.
Well, I've heard from somewhere that if you save up your loads and you don't expel them, it increases the testosterone level in your body by a certain percentage. It's like if you save up
You
your
don't need to
loads-
bother with that. All you got to do is eat Brazil nuts every day and take selenium, and you will have testosterone coming
the
out your
fattest
gills. Not only the fattest loads, but I read this in The 4 Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, great book. Check it out. He was talking about how if you take selenium and eat Brazil nuts, your testosterone and sperm count goes like crazy through the roof. And what he was talking about was, at that point in time, he was exuding so much like male pheromones. Pheromone is like a male.
I think it's.
Or is that both?
animals? They
Yeah.
say.
Okay,
I don't know.
male
Yeah.
pheromone. Anyways, he was saying that he noticed, and I don't know, this could be total bullshit, like I don't know for sure, but he seems pretty genuine in what he says. He says that when he was taking that stuff to like an insane degree where he was just like exuding these pheromones, the women were just like coming up to him and people were just looking at him, and he was just getting this attention because on a primal level, you just notice him more.
Right.
I guess as a female, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like a sense.
Yeah, no, I think in
It's
any
pretty
sense,
crazy.
Like, well, you notice even now, like the people who have like super amounts of testosterone, these
Right.
just like crazy athletes.
Yeah.
they're
Well, they're larger than
Yeah,
life. I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody walked into this room that was a crazy, just like, you know,
a bubbling crackpot of
HGH, like
testosterone.
crazy. Yeah,
Just a
you
throbbing,
couldn't help but
pulsating
just
man.
like jaw drop, look over at him. You know, I mean, I'm sure he would be sexy. He would have to be, right?
He's a hunk.
Thank you, Andrew.
I didn't say that. I did that with my mind, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I-
The singularity coming through.
I created a magic spell, and I influenced the will of others through symbols and gestures. It's amazing stuff. Oh boy, that was quite the tangent. Now I don't even know where I am anymore. Oh, hey, I was looking at an article about this is about space, about the radio telescope. Yeah, pull that one up, right there. Yeah, this was crazy. In what is it? In 2024, I think they're going to complete the largest radio telescope like array that they've ever created.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, I believe they're going to be building. I think it's like some ridiculous number of radio satellites. You know those like in the movie Contact when Jodie Foster's like listening to those gigantic dishes that are like pointing up at the sky.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna build like brand new ones. Like I think it's something like 3,000 of them in New Zealand or South. I think there's Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa are fighting to get this in their country because it's going to be like a huge economic boost and all this. It's like a $2 billion project.
This is the same thing as SETI, right?
SETI.
Nevada, wherever that is, which is currently,
yeah.
I think, the largest radio
Yeah,
array.
it's going to be like 10,000 times faster. With 50 times the sensitivity of any other telescope. So it's like we're basically going to be able to see further and deeper into space. They say to the degree where they'll be able to like focus in on like individual like exosolar planets and get like signals from there. And they're saying that's like this is going to be the closest step to us finding.
We got it, man. We're finding them.
Yeah,
that seals it. We're there.
This is the closest step, and we're gonna.
You know, Stephen Hawkins talked about.
Is Richard Branson building this thing?
He probably has something to do.
You know, he was behind Spaceship One, right?
He's gonna be Iron Man.
Dude, he's badass. I love Richard Branson.
Yeah. We need
I
more-
don't know about him personally, but from
just-
what I've read and seen,
He
he's
seems
amazing.
cool. I saw
Yeah.
I think it was Cribs or something.
Yeah,
Went
he's
to
got his own island, for
yeah.
Christ's sake.
He was on
That was cool.
Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, it was the newest one they did for like before the comedy awards. But yeah, Richard Branson was on there, and it was actually really hilarious. A little bit they did, but we need more people who are just like ridiculously rich who are willing to invest like absurd amounts of money into like space exploration. Because let's face it, that's what we really need to be focusing on. Like
There was also that I don't remember the name of it, but it was the first commercial spacecraft to dock on the International
Oh,
Space
yeah.
Station.
That just happened recently,
last
right?
week,
Yeah.
this current week.
it's so amazing.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, no, they docked a private spaceship on the International Space Station
sweet.
for the first time.
That's just
Was that like Spaceship One stuff? Was that
It was
Richard
something
Branson's?
X. It wasn't Branson's. It wasn't Branson's. I don't know.
It's totally amazing what they did with that. Like, I don't know the numbers, but it was like either 100th or 1,000th of the price
Yeah.
that it cost NASA to go to
they-
space.
they killed it.
They did it.
Yeah.
Because they just took a plane or a jet. And they just had this like rocket on the bottom of it, and
Yeah.
they just launch it and take the jet as high as it can go, and they just launch it from there. It's so brilliant.
Yeah, it is
And then
just-
what they did after that was what they just they had when it had re-entry
Mm-hmm.
into the Earth's atmosphere, it just opened up these flaps so that it didn't have to deal with intense heat from like falling through the atmosphere.
yeah. I didn't know the. What's up?
You can finish your thought.
Yeah, I didn't know about like the re-entry.
Oh, it was
all that.
crazy. It was totally crazy.
It's crazy how they have like that like on the old NASA spaceships, which Rest in peace, by the way. That was a beautiful program. Anyway,
Well, it's not like
no,
done.
but, I know, but
It's on pause. They paused.
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's on a hiatus. So
Rest for a little while.
yeah.
No,
So
I want to get this out there real quick about this array that they're building. It says here the SCA, they're abbreviating it, is more than just a scientific yada yada. It says global tech companies are already embarking on development funds linked to the project, which will rely on computing technology that does not even exist yet to power the flood of data it will collect. Scientists estimate that the SCA will need processing power equivalent to several million of today's fastest computers.
holy shiz.
That's awesome. I love the forward thinking. They're like,
Yeah.
we're gonna build this and we'll figure out what to do with it.
Well,
when it's done."
that's what we were
that's
talking
the
about
thing.
earlier with Kurt's wheels. That's what he does for a living.
Yeah.
Is he figures out a way that he tells you the end point, and then you build towards that.
And he's done it like 6 times.
Yeah, it's
since the
crazy.
50s.
It's absolutely crazy.
And it's just like this project in particular. I mean, there's so many positive benefits. I mean, they're inventing new technology so that we can, like look deeper into space. And it's just think of like the economical benefits of that, all the jobs it creates, and just the revolutionary science that is
Well,
born
it's-
from that.
And I can't remember exactly what Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about in that when he was going on that rant about NASA, but he was talking about how like at least the U.S. gets their imagination back when
Right,
NASA is funded. It's like you can think bigger when NASA is exploring.
Yeah,
you know.
when NASA's like in the mainstream, like when in the spotlight.
Because then
as
it's not
opposed-
just war. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, guess what? We're discovering new worlds.
Yeah.
We're discovering new minerals and this and that.
And it's like
Now-
stuff that matters.
And then when they cut it, people are like, Pluto's not a planet anymore?
Yeah.
What the hell are you guys doing? They just care over just like semantics
Yeah.
of what we're calling what. Like, the
Yeah.
fact of
Right.
the matter is,
I mean, who cares?
it's
It's still
on the
there.
heels of discovering
I mean-
all these other bodies in
Right.
the same area of it. Like, that's astounding. That shouldn't be a cause of
It's totally amazing.
regret.
People
or
people
grief.
just they latch on to like just like symbols, like Pluto being a planet is some kind of symbol to someone, and that like
well, because
when
as
you
a
change
kid,
that-
you learn there's 9 planets, and you
now
learn
there's
how to
90 planets. All right, we have a caller. We'll take this call. Hello, caller. You're on the air. This is Dead Air Radio. Please state your name, your question, and your serial number.
Hello, this is the Stack Man.
What's going on, Stackman?
I called about you guys talking about space and NASA.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you guys hear about this this group that are trying to fund space mining?
No.
Space mining. No.
Yeah, that's Cameron's involved with that, isn't he? James Cameron?
Yeah.
What a guy.
They're trying to go mine asteroids to get lithium and other.
No way. That's
So-
amazing.
Yeah,
Sounds like some StarCraft shit.
it's
It is. We
It-
require,
it
we
won't
require
happen
more
till, like,
minerals.
Yeah, you think we're gonna find some Zerg out there?
I hope not, because I don't think we stand much of a chance.
Nope, we're doomed against that creep.
No, that's amazing. I mean, James Cameron, man, I gotta give it up to him.
Well,
He-
he's up there with
he's
Branson
going
as
to
far
the
as
deepest
righteous
points
dude.
in the ocean.
the
Like,
Challenger
what's he-
Deep, that blew my mind away.
He's insane.
I saw like an infographic online. I had no idea this had happened. They showed like the different depths of all like the world's like deepest lakes and oceans, and they showed the Challenger Deep, which is just like
Is that
beyond
in the
all-
Mariana Trench?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. It's beyond like all like the scale of any other. Like it's like mile. It's like 7 miles down, and James
God, it's
Cameron
so
just went
intense.
there. Like he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
It's Thursday. I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
right.
You know what? Like, love
Like
or hate that
alien
guy.
life.
Yeah, he was saying that it was just like it's like just a completely different world down
I
there.
wish you would have
Oh, did
discovered
you see
like
that?
the gnarliest sea monster.
Right?
Dude, I saw this crazy video online yesterday of I don't know, what are those underwater cameras doing? It's just checking on like whatever. You know what I'm talking about, like the deep sea cameras.
Oh, like
that are
the
on, like-
remote controlled ones or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever they're doing, there was this insane thing. It looked like a silk blanket. It was just this silk blanket floating like
Whoa.
crazy. And then all of a sudden,
It was
like,
alive.
yeah, it floats away. This huge. All I can say is silk blanket. That's
Oh, I
all
think
it
I
looks
saw
like.
that thing.
Yeah. And then it floats back, and then all of a sudden, all these. It looks like intestines pop out of the middle, and
What?
it does this weird thing. You could look it up. It's totally insane. Look
Silk
it up.
blanket monster.
Well, look up new deep sea creature or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know exactly what it is, but it's totally insane.
Yeah.
It looks like a squid mixed with a stingray mixed with a
That
silk
kind of
blanket.
species, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of
it's totally
stingray-ish, but not
Yeah.
really at all. It like moved kind of like all over the ocean. You know, you usually fish are kind of going in a straight line, but this
Yeah.
thing was just like up and down and
Those are the real aliens, man. Fucking, like aquatic life. That shit's just so
it's
far
scary.
out there.
It's so scary, especially when you get down like deep into the water and nothing has pigment anymore.
Yeah,
'cause
there's things
no
with
sunlight.
like LED lights built into them
there's
that
no
are just
eyes
like, yeah.
on like deep sea creatures because there's no light.
That's
So it's
so
all
amazing.
just like feelers and
It's crazy how they can like evolve to have like built-in lights, like strobe lights.
Oh,
I remember
man, what
watching
is that
some of
one
those.
called?
I
What is it
forget.
called?
We
You
were
ever
watching
see
the
the
deep sea.
cuttlefish?
Yeah. Oh, the cuttlefish. Oh, don't even get me started. on the
cuttlefish are
cuttlefish.
so cool.
Stackman, are you still there?
Yeah.
Sorry, we went off on a little tangent there, but you were. We're gonna get back to the deep sea talk in a second here, but you had some information on space mining. Was there anything else you had?
There was one other story. Did you hear that they're talking about there are scientists that want to turn Mercury into a Dyson sphere to gather energy to bring back to Earth?
A Dyson
what exactly
sphere.
does
Yeah,
that
I'm not
mean?
sure what any of that
Can
means.
you define a Dyson sphere? I'm an amateur at all of this.
Like, everything I've read doesn't give a real clear definition, but it's basically hollow out. Basically, they would hollow out Mercury and turn it into a gigantic solar collector.
That is
Damn.
badass.
Yeah, hey man, they've got my money for that.
That's so insane.
I mean, for real, like I bet there's people out there though who would be like, "Oh, you can't do that to Mercury. That's our planet. It's in our solar system." It's like,
There's
cares?
always going to be somebody that's going to be talking shit about it.
No,
It's
we
so
gotta
annoying.
do everything we can with those planets because there's
Yeah.
nothing on.
yeah, we need to own those.
If you're not killing anything, who cares?
Yeah, that.
Exactly.
What boggles my mind though is how are we gonna like, are we gonna send little like robots over there and start drilling or what?
Yeah, well, they said it's feasibly possible now that even though it would take a long time, but yeah, it's basically a whole lot of drilling robots.
Or we could just send some nukes over there.
No, shouldn't we just send like prisoners? Like they're doing nothing.
Well, how
They're
would
just
they live?
sitting around. Like why
They
don't we
can't do
just
Mercury.
I'm pretty sure it would take
Like
hundreds of
2,000
years.
degrees.
They can't even get to Mercury.
No, okay. I'm not saying that we're gonna burn them, but I'm just saying like prisoners.
Why
They
don't we
aren't
just-
doing anything. Just get one warden, and get let's do spaceship like Alcatraz or some like
Well,
crazy whatever.
It's funny you mentioned that because I read an article the other day about how it's like this is all just like a beginning, but DARPA, the government agency, I forget what DARPA stands for. Stackman, do you know what DARPA stands for?
Defense something.
Yeah,
Defense and Research.
something or
ARPA.
other.
ARPA. Fuck.
Anyway, they awarded a $500,000 grant, if you will, to start funding the research for a spaceship. They call it the 100-year spaceship. It's basically like the plans to start to build a spaceship that could possibly take humanity for interstellar flights. It's actually a really interesting concept, but there's a lot of controversy with it, saying like that's so far off. Like we'll never. It would like okay. Here's a fact that they mention that it would take. Like they mention what's it, Voyager 1, the satellite that's like the furthest thing out
Right.
that we've ever sent.
Where is that? Is it still like functional?
It's let's see, I think it's 300. It's 334,640,905 miles. I think that's what it's saying.
So once it was propelled into space, like it's traveling at that same speed, right?
Yeah.
So is it like hurling through space right now?
I don't know how fast it's going, but I know that they're developing they have new technology. They're like the ion drives or whatever, where like it accelerates slowly over time, like to the
Really?
point where it starts going like
They have
insane.
ion drive.
Yeah, that's how they already have those, but it's like it's basically like a little engine that like it starts off slow, but like it's perpetually faster and faster.
It shoots out like individual atoms.
Yeah.
And over the course of many years, just builds up like massive speed in a
yeah.
frictionless environment.
Right. So they like that's the technology, but yeah,
It's
but
totally insane.
But back to my point about Voyager 1, they're saying that like at its current speed, its current speed is that 334 million number per year. That's how far it travels a year, I guess. That sounds kind of crazy. But it would take 75,000 years to reach at that speed to reach our closest star. So
I hate the just unimaginable distances everything is in space.
it's like we weren't meant to like go anywhere else, but it's like our freaking destiny.
Did you hear about that? What the hell was it? It was like
I think we just lost the Stackman.
Stackman?
Stackman, are you there?
Stackman's
No,
gone.
I think we have-
Thank you for calling, Stackman. We appreciate you listening.
Oh, the teleportation in China. They have teleportation like the length of what was it? I can't remember how much it was. It was between like 10 feet and like 30 meters or something like that. but they have-
Teleportation?
Yeah.
Of
yeah.
like
It
like
was just
like
the
atoms
most
or like
basic-
objects?
It was the most basic of things that they could teleport.
Yeah, I thought I read an article about how they like it confused the hell out of me, but like they could like teleport
I don't know anything about
atoms
it,
Well, they say
or like quarks.
like I'm nowhere near qualified to speak
No.
on matters like
What,
this.
are
but-
you kidding me? What? Is this new? Oh my god. What?
No, they say the atoms, not the atoms, but the even smaller things are never
Adam.
they're constantly appearing and disappearing out of reality.
Yeah.
Teleporting
Oh.
from one place to another.
Yeah, I think they're called like gravitrons or something. That's what they're trying to with the
Yeah, I
Large
heard
Hadron
about
Collider. That's what they're trying to like learn about is when two atoms collide, like they disappear. Like literally, like you
They
know.
don't actually disappear, but they just don't know where they go.
They don't know where they go.
They don't know where they go because, like, you know, with the rule of relativity or whatever that like you can't destroy or
Yeah,
create
you
matter.
can't. Yeah, you can't create matter or energy.
So,
it's,
like-
it's all transferred.
Yeah, so like when two atoms collide like perfectly, they separate into even smaller particles, but then they don't know what happens to them after that, and that's basically the whole point of what that Large Hadron Collider is about.
They're dipping in and out of reality. They're dipping
Yeah.
from here to a different plane of existence.
Dude, did
and
you
coming
guys
back.
see? Did you guys see that huge ass swimming pool they built in Chile?
Yeah,
The one in the ocean?
it's like
it's
2
like
miles
it's
long
like
or
right
something.
on the beach.
Or it's like 1.5 miles long or something.
You can sail boats on this thing. It's unbelievable. It's like 30 billion gallons of water or something like that.
We're gonna put it in the water.
So is that like treated like chlorine water?
Yeah, they have to treat it. It's brilliantly clear. It's like crystal clear. It's amazing.
That's
if you look at it, it's totally beautiful.
I feel like that's like a huge waste of water. I mean, water's like it is the
was
scarcest
shocked.
resource.
I was totally shocked when I saw that it wasn't in
fresh
Dubai.
water.
I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this
that
is in Dubai, right?
That's some Dubai quality shit.
yeah,
right
but
there.
it was in Chile. It's like,
What's going
where
on
did
with
they get that money,
Dubai?
Chile?
Where is Dubai?
Like Dubai? It's in Saudi Arabia. I'm
Saudi
pretty sure.
Arabia.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
are they so insane?
Because I think they have the most money there.
Dude,
I mean,
you want to talk about? Yeah, they do.
Per
they do
capita.
have the most money, but they're losing money at a crazy
Yeah.
rate. Like they have to stop production on a lot of the buildings in Dubai because I guess they're losing like crazy amounts of money or something like that.
yeah, and a lot of the workers that they have are basically just like kidnapped from the neighboring countries and then are like shoved into these like communal living spaces.
true?
Yeah,
Oh my
Vice
God.
Vice did a huge like expose
I'd like to
on
see
that.
that.
Yeah, it's like they basically give like poor people in the surrounding areas like an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah.
They make a sweet sounding deal, but then like they get them into like these like outskirts areas of Dubai, and then they like basically make them work like slaves and pay them shit, and like you know they have like horrible living conditions, or like they're all crammed into like communal living spaces, and
I mean,
it's
it
pretty
makes sense.
it's pretty disgusting. And then they're like not even allowed in Dubai to like be active in
That's
that
so
economy.
stupid.
Yeah, I know. It's like
I heard it's like what was that sailboat hotel? You know? What
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
I heard it's like $100 just to drive to it. Like there's like a toll to get to it. It's on its own island.
I mean, it makes. makes no sense, but it totally makes
Oh my
sense.
god! I posted this video. Maybe I didn't post it. I don't know. It was in China. They built this hotel in 6 days.
Whoa.
It's absolutely insane. I don't know if I posted the video or not. Maybe we should start. We gotta build a website and then all the links that we talked about.
Yeah,
we
show
post on
notes.
there.
Yeah, we gotta get that website built.
We gotta do
Show
that.
notes?
All right, viewers, if there's any of you left, badger us to get a
Homesteady.
website built. No, but
Wait, show notes. I'm unfamiliar with this
I'd
concept.
like links to. I'm talking about this Chinese hotel that was built in 6
And you
days.
post a picture
I would
to
link
it.
it. But this thing, it's so insane. They had like 7 cranes. They had cranes lining the building, running 24/7. They had a clock at the bottom, like they fast forwarded the 6 days.
Oh, yeah.
They built this thing in 6 days.
Just day and night
it was
working.
absolutely amazing. It was like a 3-minute YouTube video, but God, is it insane?
I mean,
Only in China. Where else? Where else would that happen? It's so insane.
I mean, I hate to say it, but like, I just feel like the American work ethic is not what it once was.
I hear you.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I guess we have certain standards here. I mean,
Well, it would be totally different. I guarantee you, even in China, like, if they beforehand were like, hey, guess what? We're going to build this building in 4 days. Like,
Yeah.
that's what they said. They were
Right.
like, we need contractors that can get this whole project done in 4 days.
do you think it's all Chinese contractors, or do you think this is like a world? effort?
Probably, it's very possible that they flew out like the best contractors
Yeah.
in the world. Because that being said, like, you can be good at being a contractor, but you can't do that. Like, you have to have the most crackpot team.
You have
to put
in place.
your hand between your butt cheeks.
I don't know if that's the case, Lomenzo. Like, could you just wait until you're called upon to?
Sometimes I can't help myself.
Okay.
But no, that is crazy. I think that building a hotel in 6 days, you'd have to have
Hotel. I'm talking
Like,
about
like high rise.
50 stories, something like that. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, the Chinese are people you don't want to be fucking with.
No.
They've got.
You know
they've
what the
got
worst
their
thing
shit
is?
on lockdown.
They all wear the same thing. They all wear that blue.
That's just
that
not
blue
true.
jumpsuit. those.
If there's any Chinese listeners,
All right, that
I'm
sounds
sorry.
wildly racist. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, that blue Chinese jumpsuit.
no. Look at the video. That
sounds like a good band name.
Every time I've seen like they're
Chinese
making
jumpsuit.
that Mile High like living community in China too. I saw that on Modern Marvels. I don't know. I haven't looked it up in a million years.
Mile
It's called
High.
I don't remember what it's called, but if you look it up, it was on like Modern Marvels.
Waiting for something
But-
racist here.
Maybe it may
just
it
kidding.
may sound
Jesus'
that way,
gay
but
brother.
all I'm saying is like in this video and in that one, they all seem to wear. I think it's like a construction suit. It's like a blue suit with the white like hard hat. It's just so goofy to see everybody wears it. Everybody, you
It's
see
like, how do you-
everybody doing the same thing.
how do you
it looks
decipher-
like Lemmings. You remember Lemmings?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Lemmings. This was good.
That's what it looks like.
If that's the case,
That's what they are too. Really.
Essentially.
yeah. How would you decipher like who's like the project manager, who is like
His
Well,
jumpsuit
he's
is
wearing
orange.
the blue jumpsuit with the yellow hat.
oh the yellow hat. Okay, Ben, yellow hat, Chinese. Come on,
Way to go! You brought it up.
you brought it
Your
up.
fault.
You brought it up. All right. I'm sorry.
How dare you.
I'm sorry, everyone. I think, do we have a fresh song for the listeners at home?
We got the celebrated working man with some mistakes are worth repeating.
We're going to switch gears. Stay tuned.
forgive her for things she couldn't say. Oh, but tell me now if love is still the answer. Now, honey, what exactly is the question? Tell me now if love is still the answer. Now, honey, could you please repeat the question? Tell me now if love is still the answer. Honey, I'd like to know the question. Tell me now if love is still the answer. Honey, could you please repeat the question? Tell me now if love is still the answer. Honey, I'd like to know the question. Tell me now if love is still the answer. Honey, could you please repeat the question? Tell me now if love is still the answer. Now, honey, I'd like to know the question. Tell me now if love is still the answer. Honey, could you please repeat the question? Tell me now if love is still the answer. Then I'd like to know the question. Tell me now if love is still the answer. Could you please repeat the question? Tell me now if love is still the answer. Then I'd like to know the question. Tell me now if love is still the answer. Could you please repeat the question? Tell me now if love is still the answer. Then I'd like to know the question. Tell me if love is still the answer. Could you please repeat the question? Tell me now if
Celebrated Working Man. Beautiful song, beautiful band, beautiful people in that band. Just want to thank everyone for listening tonight. It's been a great show. I want to thank our callers, Lee and Stackman. You brought a lot of positive energy to the show, which
tiny little boy,
which is what we need. Just want to give a quick shout out to River West Video for making all this happen. What is it? 824 East Wright Street, I believe, is the address. Come on, check it down. We are just wrapping up tonight's episode. Thank you to all the listeners, River West Video.
Thanks, guys.
Thank Ben, thank Adam for making all this possible. Good night, everyone. Have a safe weekend.
Thanks a lot. What a show!
We love you.
Whoa!
We love you.
Yay!
Yay! Yay!